All the best to you, my friends. Thanks for subscribing. We're just going to jump right into a no holds bar. About 10 minutes about Ison, the remains of Ison. What is the full scope of what is part of the debris that's fallen in the trail of Ison. Particle size of Ison. What are the dangers of the materials? And talk a little bit about what NASA's been talking about. First of all, NASA. Let's get right into about NASA real fast. NASA's talking about the Earth being lightly peppered by some dust and debris the size of a micron in particle size. And so a micron is smaller than a colloid. And a colloid is pretty small. It's like dust-sized particles, and even smaller than that they're talking about. Let me tell you about, even if they were true about what they're talking about with just micron-sized particles, let me tell you what we'd be facing with Ison. If every Star Wars nuclear device that's out in space, from China to the USA to any other country that's got anything up there, if it even exists, we don't have proof of it. And if there was aliens, I don't confirm or deny that I believe in aliens. I'm just bringing this up for a point. If they shot each of the debris into little microns, dust clouds, then there would be over a ridiculous amount of pounds, trillions, zillions of pounds, some unknown number of dust that is radioactive, that is highly, that has a nuclear radioactive signature that's not terrestrial to our planet. In other words, it's not like plutonium, it's not like uranium, and that causes plenty of problems here. Just look at Fukushima and the trouble that they're in over there. The sun is much more radioactive than Fukushima can ever hope to be. Even at 1 billion something miles away, if we don't have our magnets, if we don't have our magnetic shield up there, it takes almost no time to get out there and for exposure to kill a full-grown human in no time. Even with the ozone being kind of depleted. So the sun is dangerous and radioactive. If the dust was to get into our atmosphere, even at the amount that it's going to certainly get into our atmosphere, as it goes closer past us this second time than it did the last time going past us, it'll be more like a Mars and Comet Ison encounter. So it's going to be close to us. It's going to the debris will be close to us. The dust will get into the upper atmosphere, the ozone layer, and will change the energy value. In other words, the energy value of the ozone layer will be increased. In other words, there'll be more electromagnetic energy in the ozone layer. There'll be more electromagnetic energy in the upper atmosphere where our storm clouds and our storm systems form. And these particles that are up there are part of some unknown composition, iridium, different types of particles that will just be stuck up there for decades, pulling super particle energy from the sun rays shining in on that stuff. Because so far all that's up there is space dust. It's basically the stuff that's up there that keeps our magnetic shield what it is. It decontaminates the sun rays so that they can shine back on Earth without being so harmful. But this stuff from Ison is made of iridium, all sorts of different metals that are when they're in direct sunlight, they start to become charged. And so you're talking about increase in superstorms, an increase in natural disasters. You're talking about an increase in storms that will go to a proportion that make the Philippine storm that happened when Ison went kind of pretty far away from us. I don't know exactly how far. I don't know if it was exactly 100,000 miles away from us, but it caused the biggest storm in history, recorded in history, in the Philippines, just at 100,000 yards. I mean, 100,000 yards, 100,000 miles away from us. Now, on its pass back through, past us again, it's going to be more closer. It's going to be way closer, and it's basically going to be it's going to be so close that it will affect our weather patterns more. There'll be big-sized pieces. No matter what NASA tells you, no matter what anyone tells you, just use your senses, because you're smart people. You know what's going on. If you and I, any of us, were to take a hot air balloon ride up into the stratosphere, up into the atmosphere, or to go skydiving, sky jumping, just look on YouTube at sky jumping, and look and tell me if you can see any cars or make any people out down there. So no, you can't see the things down there, and it looks like the size of dust particles, even at that distance. So they've got these cameras out there pointed billions of miles further than that, and are telling us that there's just dust out there, and there's no way that that's dust out there. Those particles are the size of Navy ships, just like in their reports to begin with. And if they were to sit out there and shoot at that stuff with all the guns that we've got, in the Air Force, the Navy, everything, if every country unloaded all its ammo, it still can't keep us from getting hit with what we're going to get hit with. It's just too much stuff. So continue to be ready for meteors, a possible asteroid strike somewhere in the ocean, hopefully the remotest part of the ocean. And when I tell you about the dangers of the dust, try to understand that NASA, they are skilled and trained scientists, and the astrophysicists and all sorts of different types of professors that hold degrees in physics and this sort of thing, and even doctors having special degrees in biology. And when they sent a machine out into the space to collect some dust from a comet trail, so it sticks its arm out there. You probably have seen some of the videos, some of you, and it gets this sticky, it's like sticky hand out there, and it gets some of the dust particles, and then it gets it back into the machine and brings it back to the Earth. But when you watch them around that dust that they're kind of studying, it looks like they're in Center for Disease Control outfits. They've got all sorts of stuff around them, and then some of the stuff that they study, they're inside of a closed-in room, like a box that's airtight, and they're reaching in with gloves, just with dust. And so these particles, try to bear in mind that they're radioactive. They will settle in the upper atmosphere, like I'd spoken of before. They will gather electromagnetic energy. And try to understand another reason why you can know that this is possible. First of all, particles like dust from comets, it's 1 micron in size, they say, but it's also sand-sized particles and dirt-sized particles, bigger than that. But the microns, let's stick to that for a minute. They can be soluble in water, so that means they're going to be in the storm system, affecting the electromagnetic increase value that it has, and so you're looking at more powerful storm systems because they can hold more energy, because they have however many parts per million extra iridium flowing through their liquids in the cloud system that's causing superstorms. The superstorms that like what we saw at the Philippines when it went 100,000 miles away from us, passing us. And this time it's going to pass us at, they say 50,000 something, 100, whatever, thousand miles or whatever it is. It's going to pass us at about half the distance it was last time, or maybe even closer to us. So that thing is there's huge stuff there, and the biggest pieces of it, if it was to get to where it passed us too fast, it could knock us out of our orbit somewhat. It could knock our moon out of orbit and cause us a lot of damage. So stay safe, be prepared, understand that what they're telling us is not the accurate truth, and they have equipment, telescopes that they could easily point out at these distances and show us a good close-up of these dust-sized particles that they're talking about. It's just completely not true. That stuff out there is big. It's going to be hitting us. Even the dust will be in our stratosphere, in our ozone, the upper atmosphere, giving us superstorms for 100 years from now. 100 years from now. It's going to be a real rough ride. So, to my subscribers, I appreciate you. I would like to hear any of your meteor stories. I sat through a meteor storm about 2 days ago, early in the morning, about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So just let me know what you think, and stay safe. Once again, all the best to you, and keep your eyes on God, and all God will bring you through it. I believe so. As I say, Zaza Ta'al, that means the word with God, and I hope that this has been helpful to you. Appreciate you very much.